street and on the street course. Matt Salerno of Australia has been dominating the season up until now, but he's facing some opposition from Japan in the form of Eito Yasutoko and from Ty Chris of France. We're at Mission Bay Park in San Diego, the continuation of the 98 X Games. The inline final in the men's VERT features 10 competitors. They've got 50 seconds per run, 3 runs. The average score from the best 2, i.e. they chuck out the worst one, is the one that counts. And there, high above the VERT ramp here at Mission Bay Park, is Ty Chris, the #1 European, and away he goes. Oh, goodness me, huge amount of air to start with from Ty Chris, who's gone from strength to strength in the last couple of years, and amazingly has only been inlining for about 3 years. Before that, he was a regular roller skater, decided that inline possibly offered him a better future, and what a good decision that was. And he's using all the ramp. The judges will like the gap transfers over the break in the ramp there where the big extension is built in, and good grinds as well. That's where he stops on the coping at the top of the ramp and lets the wheels run along the ledge. Oh, huge amount of air from Ty Chris. Nice grinds, good airs, good spins and rotations, and he's really stitching it together well here. A little mistake at the end where he just got his backside caught on the coping. But that was one of the best runs I've ever seen from Ty Chris, and he's featured a lot on Eurosport over the last couple of years. This was his max air. We'll get a look on the height chart. 11 feet up, plus, 8'6". Look at that. Way up. That's the highest we've seen all week. A Royale grind. Here's a 720, and he grabs the left skate as well. Extra points for all of that, and 80.67 out of a possible 100 for Ty Chris puts him in the lead. And we can hear from Ty Chris right now. In fact, it's Javier Buyanda we're speaking to first from Spain. He's next to go.
Hola, soy Javier Bujanda. Bienvenidos a
And he says, my name is Javier Buyanda. Welcome to the X Games on Eurosport. These are the biggest competitions I've ever seen. Biggest anyone's ever seen. Pretty well prepared. Everybody loves their sports here. You can watch every minute of every event. It's just excellent. Night before the finals, I was feeling a bit nervous. I wanted to be in the finals. Now I'm in the finals. I'm not nervous anymore. The weather and the jet lag when you come from Europe make you feel a bit sleepy, but I think it's pressure really that's the main problem. The weather's fantastic, but I'm alive and I'm here, and that's what I'm happy about. My goal was to be in the finals. Now my goal has changed a bit. I really want not to get too nervous, and I'll try and make sure that doesn't happen. We'll see, but I wanted to make the finals, and I've done that, so in fact I'm really happy. We will hear from Ty Chris a little bit later. Now we'll see the run from Javier Bujanda, having heard his thoughts. A little bit tense, he looked at the start, but he's got a very different style to Ty Chris, who we just saw, but he's really cramming in the tricks nice and early on. So many rotations, flat spins as well. We'll get a little explanation about the various tricks a little later in the program. Now he goes over the gap and he's on the far end of the course. Went through the channel, and now he's back on the main part of the ramp. Good inverted tricks as well, nice grinds. Little hip hop there when he pats off his hand and lands on again, just bonks off the coping with his hand and comes down again. And that's the end of the time, 50 seconds up for Javier Bujanda of Spain. And he hit 19 different tricks, 19 walls hit by Javier Bujanda. Look at that. Contorts himself into all sorts of seemingly impossible positions. That was the McTwist, and here's the flat spin. His bodily rotational qualities, quite incredible. That was an eggplant McTwist to finish off with. And Bujanda looking pretty happy with it. We'll explain a little bit more about the tricks right now. Inline vert is all about flat spin maneuvers mixed with standard maneuvers. In the flat spin, horizontal moves are all that counts. 540 and a flat spin 540. 1.5 spins with a horizontal rotation. Then there are the unnatural moves. In an unnatural McTwist, you get upside down and spin. And the other way around, you throw it off your opposite foot and spin the other way. And then there are the multiple tricks, when they all come together. That contains 4 tricks there. We'll break it down for you now. That's a Lucan, a 540 to disaster, and 180 to revert to finish off. And these variations will make the judge's head spin. Cesar Mora, 24-year-old from Sydney, Australia. Can go really big. He's been somewhat overshadowed this season by Matt Salerno, the other Australian, but Mora can really stitch it together when the pressure's on. Oh, look at that. Double grab, 540, and another 540 on the back of it. And then a 900. Unbelievable. He is a skating gyroscope. He spins to the coping and then again off it. He's got everything in this run so far. He's really pumping here, Cesar Mora. Oh, a little mistake and flattened his face. Any damage done? Maybe he just got the elbow a bit. But it was right before the buzzer, and there's Matt Salerno, the #1 Australian, on paper at least, cheering on his countrymen. Let's have a look back at some of the highlights from Cesar Mora's run. Let's see how high he went. Oof. Too much, in fact, 7'1", and he lost control on that air slightly as a result of the height. This is the 720 over the channel, and that's where he lets himself down a little. There'll be better things to come from Cesar Mora later in the competition. Matt Salerno is 19 from Sydney. Best of the qualifiers in the preliminary stage. He's going to drop in from the highest point, high up on the extension, try and generate as much air as possible. Good height from Matt Salerno. Nice 540. And he spins natural and unnatural. He's got all the moves, this boy. And he just pops off the coping with his hand, sticks his feet skywards. Now he starts to put in some grinds. Technical tricks very important. The judges will take those into account, and use of the entire width of the ramp as well. And he grinds both directions, both natural and unnatural. That was a pretty good 50-second session from Matt Salerno, and the fact that he stayed on his feet should put him ahead of Cesar Mora, who, you'll remember, fell on his arse towards the end of his run. Let's have a look at the max air, pretty high. Oof. 8'2" from Matt Salerno. That was the eggplant McTwist, and then unnatural grinds. So many grind variations crammed into that run from Matt Salerno, and he leads by a whole 7 points. Remember, it's the best of the average of the best 2 runs that counts. That's the 1, 2, 3. Salerno, Chris Mora. We now join Ty Chris on his second run, second of 3. And he drops. Huge amount of height again from the Frenchman who took a silver medal in 1997. He can get so much height Super control from Ty Chris. Despite the air he achieves, he just manages to harness all that he generates. Unnatural 540 McTwist. And then right back with a natural one. Little tweaks to all these moves. That was an unnatural 720, followed by a 360. Now he starts to grind a little bit. Last few seconds for Ty Chris in his second run. Great run from the Frenchman. Super run, better than we saw in the first round. And the silver medalist last year could well be getting himself into the medals again in '98. Let's have a look at the slow motion here. That was an unnatural direction for Ty Chris. And let's have a look at the max air. Pretty high, not as high as we saw from Salerno, 6'1", but he maintained the control. Two scores above 80 for Ty Chris. Second round 81, 80-83 the average, puts him in second. Now Cesar Mora in third, former professional footballer. Huge amount of leg strength as a result of his soccer experience, but let's see how much that counts for here. He's really flying early on, Cesar Mora. Oh, that's a lovely move. Double grab 720. Back-to-back 720s. And then a 900. Now he's on the extension on the far side of the ramp. Just a little high, you can see, on the far side of the ramp. And of course the channel in the middle gives you that entrance ramp, that runway to drop into the vert. Oh, great tricks from Cesar Mora. 540 disaster revert at the end of the run there, and that was the run of the competition so far. And that 540 disaster revert at the end was something else. Such difficult tricks in this run. Let's have a look at the max air. Not as high as some, but he managed to maintain the control as a result. Walking on air. Cesar Mora of Australia. That was the 900. 2.5 rotations with a grab as well. And this is the 540 disaster revert. 3 tricks together, all in one maneuver. And he goes second. The average is the one that counts, but look at that second run score, 89. That's the best so far. And Salerno has got the pressure on him a little bit. He's been the best, the most consistent inliner in the vert this season. He's been pretty good in street as well, but he's got work to do. His teammate Cesar Mora is putting the pressure on. Huge amount of height on these 720s and 540s from Matt Salerno. It's not got quite the same attraction to the run as we saw from Cesar Mora. Technical ability combined with height, the trademark of Matt Salerno's skating. Last few seconds, he's using the highest point of the ramp now. Makes the transfer across the channel, but makes a mistake. And that was an uncharacteristically dull run from Matt Salerno. 87-67 in the first round. He won't match it. And the two Australians together. Let's have a look at the max air. Pretty high. 7'5", above the 11-foot high ramp. So many different spinning rotations in this routine from Salerno. Well, he stays in the lead, average 86.17, but that second round score a little disappointing compared to his first. The gap has narrowed to under 3 points between Salerno and Mora. Ty Chris is in third with Yasutoko and Buyanda in fourth and fifth. To Mission Bay Park in San Diego. The sun's going down, but the action is just about to get going as we reach the last stage of the men's VERT final in the inline competition. Ty Chris is next to go. Let's hear from him.
Bonjour, c'est Ty Chris.
Hi, I'm Ty Chris. Welcome to the X Games on Eurosport. The standard has got much better this year. The Japanese team is getting really good, the Americans as well, and the Australians are still at the top of the pile. There's a new generation coming along. There's a lot of young people here. And they weren't here last year, like that 14-year-old Japanese kid. And you've got to compete with the young teenagers who are of the same standard as us. But that's good. It's kind of the changing of the guard. I still want to take part in lots of different events, but more events in Europe. Last year I did a lot of events in the US and in Australia. I was exhausted. I was always on the other side of the world, but I'm going to stay a little bit more in Europe now. I'm going to calm down and stick to the important things. And I'm doing a bit more work with Benetton. I've already started to work on some new products for them.
J'ai commencé déjà à travailler sur les produits et tout, sur le développement des nouveaux patins, quoi.
Ty Chris from Paris, France, leaps off the high railings. That's as high as he could possibly have been. Possibly too high. Could he control it? We'll see later in the slow-mo. Meanwhile, his 50 seconds has begun as Ty Chris bids for a medal here at the X Games. Silver medalist in '97. Wants that gold so badly. This is the biggest event in the sport. So far, it's pretty good from Ty Chris. Two unnatural tricks, both 720s. And when he throws the spins, he doesn't just throw them, he puts a grab in as well, just to add to the character of each maneuver. And look at the way he chucks himself and bounces off the coping here. Oh! Oh, the last move of the routine. It was a switch 900, he didn't quite nail it. Now he fell just as the buzzer went, so it'll be interesting to see how and if he's been penalised by the judges. But he came from the highest possible point. Let's have a look at his max air. Pretty high, pretty high. 8'4". Unnatural 720 with the grab. $86.67 this time, gives him the average of 83.83, puts him in silver medal position for the moment. Now let's have a look at Eito Yasutoko from Japan, who's just 14 years of age. But this man has got a bright future in this sport. He can really turn it on. Saw him at the Asian X Games earlier. He's been at one or two of the X Trials as well with his brother and his family in tow, and he can really throw the tricks together. 79.67, his best so far. Oh, a little mistake there. Possibly a few nerves for the young man. Nose pick to 360, whereas he just tapped his toe on the coping. Great combination trick. That was an unnatural trick. Going in the unnatural direction than he would normally want to. All these things count towards the high score. He's lost a little bit of momentum. He's going to have to heave himself back up there. And right on the buzzer, he gets back to the top. He's going to throw something just for kicks, is he? Just to round things off. Crowd getting behind him. And what a finish from Eito Yasutoko of Japan, just 14 years of age. And there's his dad. So many different tricks in this routine from Eito Yasutoko. This was a natural spin. Nose pick to 360 there. Double grab on the Liu Kang there. Grabbed each of his skates. It's kind of what you imagine a Japanese tourist to be like, isn't it? Eito Yasutoko is no tourist though. He's right up there with the best of them in 4th position. Cesar Mora has a chance to assume the lead from Matt Salerno now, and Mora goes for his 3rd and final time and immediately starts to spin. Oh, he's not holding back at all here. He's cramming in these spins and twists. He wants the gold. Cesar Mora, as I mentioned this season, slightly overshadowed by Matt Salerno in the X-Trials and at the various events, but he's really coming good when it matters. Right, over the channel, leaps high over the gap in the ramp. 2 grabs put together there. Oh, and he goes for the backflip. And he's really making a show of this final run. He wants the gold medal, he's hungry for it. Technical oh! No time left. That was right on the buzzer again. Now, how much has that hurt his score? That body check at the end of the run from Cesar Mora. Salerno, although he's smiling, deep down, is probably slightly concerned. Didn't go for the big smooth airs that time. He just wanted to spin and flip his way to a medal. 2 grabs here, 1 with each hand, 1 on each skate. And that was a 720. And that was a 540 to disaster. Well, Salerno epitomizing the spirit of the X Games, where everybody else is right behind you when you're in the ramp. And he's got the lead. Mora's got the lead, 86-83. Takes gold medal position. Now, the emphasis, the pressure is on Matt Salerno, who looks down at his teammate and says to the crowd, come on, get behind me, get behind him, get behind all of us. Can Salerno do anything about that performance from Cesar Mora? Mora's got a few comments to pass back to his teammate. He needs 86.02 to win. His average at the moment is slightly better than that, but it needs to be a run right out of the top draw now for Matt Salerno if he's to take gold at the X Games. Oh, a huge amount of height. That'll serve him well. Now he starts to rotate and spin. Grabs mixed in with the rotations. Whoa, this is good stuff from Matt Salerno. He's cramming the tricks in here. Cesar Mora has really set a tough target over the extension, over the channel and up onto the higher part of the ramp on the far side. Oh, a little mistake there, and he had his bum on the coping momentarily. Oh, he's down, and there's seconds left on the clock, and that could be the gold medal gone. Salerno, I don't think he's done enough. The gold medal will go to an Aussie, that's for sure. Is it Mora or is it Salerno? Well, Matt Salerno held nothing back. A really gutsy third and final run from Matt Salerno. On paper, the Australian #1, but maybe not anymore because Cesar Mora has skated out of his skin. The first part of this run was dazzling, but then he let himself down a bit. Huge amount of air on the max, 7'8". .720 there, and Mora watched and applauded, but Matt Salerno has not done enough. He's not done enough, and the gold goes to Cesar Mora. Cesar Mora has the gold. Salerno this time settles for silver, and Ty Chris from France takes the bronze medal. The 1-2 for Australia, possibly not as it would have been expected, but Mora responded to the challenge brilliantly. Matt Salerno not unhappy with his silver, happy that his teammate has got the gold. Ty Chris, silver medal last year, bronze in '98.
I'm pretty proud to be standing here next to Cesar Mora. Cesar, a special moment for all of us who've been in the sport before. You've won competitions before, but you said before the competition that if you ever won a competition against Matt Salerno, it would be extra special. And you did it here at the X Games. A little overwhelmed?
Yeah, I was almost in tears. I mean, I never thought it'd be such a big deal to win a stupid contest, but it's definitely the proudest moment of my skating career, and I'm about to swear there, but I won't. But I'm very emotional, and I mean, to beat the guys that skated here today was just unbelievable, anyone's dream, and then for Matt, you know, for me to beat Matt, I just had to go balls out like usual and tried different stuff, risk the beginning with a 720, and keep going off that. I was very, very tired, but I'm not tired anymore. I'm fine. I'm high, and I just, you know, thank you to everyone that supported me and helped me all the way.
Do you feel like this has been a lifelong journey in a sense? Because this has happened before. Matt Salerno first place, you take the big run, he beats you at the last moment.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes I think there's nothing else I can do. I mean, I do my best and do my most dangerous tricks, and then Matt pulls off a clean, flawless run and beats me by half a point, or we tie or something. But there's tricks that I can do that Matt can't do, and there's tricks that he can do that I can't do. I just pulled out the ones that he couldn't do today, like, but I mean, you know, it could have gone either way. It could have gone for Ty, it could have gone for Aitor or Javier, it could have gone anyway.
Cesar Mora, X Games champion. There's more coming. Stay tuned.